right, let's get this quick. It's kind of not too long, but you guys already know I'll make video way too long. It could be like an 8-minute video, and I'll make it to like a 20-minute video. So we're gonna start this real quick. We get into Shadow Spiders, SCP-538, SP animation. You guys already know, but Dr. Bob always fire. I love how he does his storytelling in the beginning, and then explain the SP later on when something bad happens to the character. But we're gonna see. Before I start this real quick, if I bring you guys to my channel, I dropped a new video yesterday. Nighttime. It was like very night. It was like at 10 a.m. something like that. Guys, go check it out. It's a new gaming content out there on my channel. I play Master Duels. Go check it out. Support it. Most of you may not like yoga, but at least give it a try. You know, watch it a little bit. And let me know you want to see more. Let's get started.
An SCP Foundation doctor wearing a hazmat suit.
And hopefully everything looking good.
Two guards through
I got my light on
facility.
too.
They stop in front of a large, sealed door, and one of the guards scans his security card. There's an audible hiss as the door slides open. The doctor nervously looks to the guard.
I also do not know this
is
SCP.
They certainly won't be joining him. The doctor steps into the small airlock, and the door snaps shut.
Okay.
A complicated locking mechanism seals the door behind him. He's truly locked in.
So when they say doctor, is this actually a doctor, like a hospital doctor? Because he looked scared and everything and tripped out, like what's happening? I don't think this is a researcher or something.
The reverse process then begins on the locked door in front of him.
Like, I don't think he knows what's here.
Revealing a room with bright lights that briefly blind the doctor. As his eyes adjust, he can see that the entire room is white and bathed in an intense light. He steps out of the airlock and towards the center of the room.
Music change.
His task awaits. He takes one slow step at a time, pausing for a moment after each before taking the next. The doctor wants to get this over with as quickly as possible, but he has to abide by the protocols, and this is how they dictate that one must walk in this containment chamber. As the doctor gets closer to the center, and his eyes further adjust to the bright light, he can finally see what this room contains. In the very middle of the room, directly under the lights, is a man. He's lying on a table and isn't moving at all.
I just clicked something.
For his slow,
why room though? Like, I know this piece called, you know, a shadow spider. Like, there's still a spider. Like, is that a spider? Like, they're trying to make like no shadows. They did a bad job. And I think I'm basically a spider. That could just be me. Like, this could be nothing. I'm just saying. But okay.
Breathing, which is assisted by the ventilator he's connected to. A feeding tube has been placed inside his nose, and numerous machines next to the man hum and beep as they measure his vital signs. The doctor continues to take one slow step after another, and eventually, after what feels like an eternity, he reaches the middle of the room. The lights above the man are angled to create large, dark shadows coming off of him.
Okay, so that's on purpose.
The doctor is finally close enough to make out what he was warned about in his briefings. Even though the man is completely still, the shadows are moving.
I was right! That was a spider! Okay. And hell no. Miss me with this.
Spiders, and big ones too, roughly 3 inches across. But the doctor can't see any actual spiders on
Is it actually there?
Only the shadows of these massive arachnids are visible as they move back and forth along the man's shadow. The doctor is growing increasingly nervous. He can feel the sweat dripping down the inside of his hazmat suit.
Okay.
He tries to tell himself it's just a result of the bright lights beating down on him. The doctor reaches the machines measuring the man's vital signs and jots down their readings, marking down that the man's medically induced coma appears stable. He's continually distracted from his work, though, by the movement of the spiders.
And I would too, but I'm like, yo, what is this? I've been like looking around like, yo, why is there shadows of spider walking around this whole room? I'm like, what? One, I have two hypotheses. It's either these shadow spiders pop up, you know, anywhere random, if you know, maybe a white room or something. But my second one that I think was mostly happening, this guy that's in a coma, he's actually creating the spiders or that's around him. I think. I could be wrong either way. Let's just get to it.
One suddenly jumps from one part of the man's shadow to another, startling the doctor and causing him to jump back.
Okay.
The spiders abruptly stop moving, and even though he can't see their eyes, he has the feeling that they are looking at him.
Yeah. Oh, we getting ad. You guys already know about ad. If I'm not getting paid at least a single penny on these ads, I'm not gonna show the average volume. Come on, guys, you already know. We're gonna skip it. But remember, guys, if you ever get one my ad, watch the whole thing. Thank you for support. There should be no ad though yet.
Doctor is frozen with fear, staring right back at the spiders. But after a moment, they go back to their previous behavior and start crawling along the edge of the comatose man's shadows once more. The doctor continues to go down his checklist and audibly gulps. He's reached the final item, the one labeled physical exam.
Oh, nah.
Nervous sweat runs down his face into his eyes.
He has to touch the
and
body and
he
everything.
He wasn't wearing this hazmat suit so he could wipe it off. He knows he must get much closer to the man, and more importantly, his shadow, that he feels comfortable with. He has to physically take the man's pulse, though. They won't let him out of this room if he doesn't. He reaches out towards the man's hand,
yeah, this is tough.
Slowly and carefully. He can see the shadow of his hand getting dangerously close to the man's shadow, and the spiders. One of the spiders stops moving.
I'm confused. Like, what happens if it like touches your shadow? Like, would it now be with you?
It is watching and waiting for the doctor's shadow to get closer. It raises up on its hind
legs.
Looking like
this is jumping. Oh no!
The doctor gets closer and closer to the man's hand. When out of nowhere, the room is rocked by an explosion. The doctor spins.
Is there a outbreak?
Around, and on a monitor next to the airlock door, he can see a feed of the hallway outside.
Why are they running like that?
Escorted him run down the hall as a red emergency light flashes. He turns back to the man on the table. The spider that was waiting for him lowers itself out of its attack mode and goes back to scurrying along the shadow. The room is shaken by an even bigger explosion, and it suddenly goes dark. The power must have gone out from whatever is happening outside.
Would that mean, wait, I'm confused. Why if it's dark? Would it be with you forever?
He can hear the sound of muffled gunfire mixed with far-off screams, but both are drowned out by his nervous, heavy breathing inside of the suit. The doctor drops to the ground and tries to crawl back to the door.
Oh, nah. He's going to crawl behind him, the shadow.
He has no idea which direction it is. He hits his head hard and hears a crack come down his mask.
Oh, nah. It's over.
The doctor turns and crawls the other direction, eventually finding the airlock door. He stands up and bangs and pulls on the door, but it won't move. He fumbles with his hazmat suit and finds the button for his emergency light. A chemical light comes on inside of his suit, casting his face in a sickly yellow light. But the light starts to flicker. Something must be malfunctioning. The light on one side of his protective mask goes out.
Oh no! Yo, it's over.
Leaving half of his face in darkness.
It's over.
But that's the least of his problems, because all of his attention is now focused on the shadow moving across his face.
Oh no! Wait, is it even bad?
The shadow of
I'm confused.
His eyes go wide as the spider stops and stands up on its rear legs. Arachnophobia.
I'm confused. Like, does it even do something? Like, it doesn't kill you? Like, what do spiders do?
Fear of spiders and sciophobia, the fear of shadows, are some of the most common phobias. And today's SCP file is a terrifying and dangerous combination of both. I'm Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-538, also known as the Shadow Spiders.
What does it do?
SCP-538 is what appears to be a kind of living shadow, not dissimilar to SCP-017. Though these shadows always take the form of an unknown species of spider. These anomalous arachnids seek out the shadows cast by other living objects, attaching themselves to the edge of the living creature's shadow in such a way that their own shadows aren't obscured. Once attached to a shadow, the spiders will appear to feed off of them. This allows them to rapidly grow in size, with adults measuring a total area of roughly 15 square centimeters. Once they reach their full size, they will continue to feed, though this will only maintain their size. The feeding process seems to not impact the host in any way, and the spiders can remain on a shadow indefinitely. While the spiders have been observed feeding on the shadows of inanimate objects when no living creatures are available, these don't appear to provide the spiders with whatever nutrients they require, and they will slowly atrophy and decrease in size. It is only when they are connected to the shadow of a living organism that SCP-538 can thrive. SCP-538 are not locked to the shadow they are on, though. The spiders have shown the ability to move across areas to reach a new host.
What does it do?
They will decrease in size when not attached to a shadow, losing as much as 2 square centimeters of their size for every second that they aren't on a shadow. And should they be stranded in the open without a shadow to feed on, they will decrease in size until they disappear completely, at which point that individual instance of SCP-538 is considered to be terminated. The spiders normally avoid this fate thanks to their extremely fast movement, though, and fully
Like how spiders are alive.
grown instances have been measured moving up to 1 meter per second. While SCP-538 instances are usually quite benign, seeming content to simply live on the shadow of their host, they will attack if they are frightened, which is when the real danger presented by these anomalous arachnids comes to light. If the spiders are agitated, usually from the result of a rapid movement by its host, the spider will bite the organism's shadow before attempting to flee.
And what happens?
Once bitten, the unlucky individual will progress through 5 distinct stages, all of which take place over the course of roughly 1 hour. During the first, the subject will report pain in the area of their body that corresponds to the part of their shadow that was bitten, but no puncture wounds or other marks will be visible in this location.
I'm confused.
Minor psychological effects have been reported in this stage, mostly consisting of an increase in irritability and the tendency for the bitten subject to lash out at those around them. The second stage occurs 10 to 15 minutes after being bitten. The subject will begin sweating, despite reporting that they feel cold, while their skin will become red and warm to the touch. 25 to 30 minutes after the bite, the third stage will begin.
At
this point, the psychological effects become very noticeable, with the subject becoming violent and attempting to attack any person nearby. Their speech will be slurred, and they may show signs of impairment to their motor skills. The fourth stage begins at the 40 to 45 minute mark, and at this point, the subject's skin color will go from being red to a pale white as their core temperature drops 5 to 8 degrees Celsius. Their psychological state will alter once again, and they will go from being extremely aggressive to overly apologetic, blaming their previous behavior on the fact that they weren't feeling well and weren't acting like themselves. After offering their apologies, they will then request their leave from the area and attempt to retreat to a darkened area. The fifth and final stage happens 55 to 60 minutes after the bite, at which point the subject faces a grisly end to the entire ordeal.
So does he die?
Their entire body will rapidly dissolve into a translucent liquid, while at the exact same time, their shadow will disintegrate into numerous smaller instances of SCP-538.
Yo, keep them locked up. Just kill all of them. You don't need this. You don't need this SCP.
The spider offspring measure just 4 centimeters across, and the new instances will immediately begin seeking out shadows of their own that they can attach to and feed off of. There is currently no known cure for being bitten by an SCP-538 instance, and even death will not halt the process. Instead, should the subject expire while in the earlier stages of the condition, death will cause the final step to occur immediately. In a bit of good news, only bites to the area of an individual's shadow that correspond to a spot of bare skin seem to cause these effects. Even thin materials like cotton clothing appear to be enough to prevent the process from starting. The SCP Foundation has multiple instances of SCP-538 in containment, and they are kept in a white 15 by 15 by 3 meter room that is accessible only via an airlock. 4 200-watt lights are focused on a table in the center of the room, where D-Class personnel in a medically induced coma is kept in a stable state in order to serve as a feeding source for the SCP-538 specimens.
So is that like the only SCP-538 like that they like in the whole world that they have, or there's more like in the other world?
No other sources of shade are allowed into the room, so that the D-Class serves as the only source of shadows. Any personnel that enter the room, whether to repair a light source or to check on the condition of the D-Class, are to wear sealed hazardous material suits equipped with oxygen tanks, and are advised that they must move slowly and deliberately in order to avoid agitating any instances of SCP-538. Initially, doctors sent to examine the D-Class personnel were allowed to enter the room alone. However, following the events of Incident I-538-1, that protocol has been changed.
Oh, we're getting an ad. I just realized that, I'm realizing the ads now. Because I know, though, I can't even skip this one. Wow! A 15-second ad, I can't even skip it. You play with me, Dr. Bob, right? Play with me, right? I don't even feel like editing this out. So, yeah. How you guys doing? Let me know in the comment section. Let's just throw it back. We got like 2 minutes left.
An attack by the Chaos Insurgency caused disruptions to both the
so it was a Chaos. Okay. So it wasn't a SCP outbreak.
Backup power sources to the part of the site where the SCP-538 containment cell is located, just as a Foundation doctor was in the middle of an examination of the comatose D-Class. power outage led to all lights in the containment cell shutting off, while at the
Okay.
same time sealing the airlock that provides the only means in or out of the room and trapping the doctor inside. The power was not able to be restored to the containment cell for another 18 hours, at which point the doctor was finally removed from the cell.
He
The
got
doctor
bitten.
sobbed uncontrollably as he kept repeating that he could feel them crawling all over him.
Alright.
The doctor was required to attend mandatory psychological therapy for his newly developed arachnophobia and was later reassigned. Following this incident, the
He
examination
wasn't bit.
protocol was updated, and health checkups of the D-Class personnel are now performed by a doctor who is accompanied in the cell by 2 security personnel, each of whom are equipped with 2 250-watt flashlights that
Alright.
can be used in the event of another disruption to the lights. If at any time a staff member is bitten by one of the spiders, they are to be immediately placed within SCP-538's containment cell as soon as possible, as the failure to properly contain them could easily lead to a massive containment breach by SCP-538
That's
entities.
dangerous as hell,
Bitten
boy.
individuals will often attempt to hide the fact that they are bitten, so anyone who comes into contact with the shadow spiders must be carefully monitored for signs of any of the symptoms that follow a bite. The ease with which they could quickly spread and the huge threat they pose to humanity has led to
So is this
SCP-538 being classified as Euclid.
Yep.
While the
Come on,
Foundation
man.
hopes that they
I
have
know
been
about
successfully
SCPs.
contained, we all must remain ever vigilant of movement on the edge of shadows. Should you spot something, don't take any chances. Your future non-liquefied body will thank
Okay.
you for it. Now go and watch another
is it
entry
gonna be
from the
outro?
files of
Is it
Dr.
gonna be
Bond,
outro?
and make sure you subscribe and turn on
Is it like
notifications
SWAT or
so you
something?
don't miss a single anomaly as we delve further and further
I don't
into the
mind.
SCP Foundation's classified archives.
I don't know something light. SCP, know something new. I do the SCP Wars now. I know. See, I like learning new SCPs and everything. That's pretty fire. But you guys already know, we remain at the end of the video. Guys, if you like the video and everything, hit the subscribe button. Go to 5,000 subscribers. We're almost halfway there. Thanks to you guys. Again, check out my new video too. Check my Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels video. I've been having so much fun in that game. So Cole, please support it. So we can do more. You also hit the like button too. Supposedly more, turn on the notification. Go on the early game, which means you can become. Stop. I'm just starting. Which means you could be in the comment section first, which brings me to the comment section. You could tell me again to play. It does not have to be a Roblox game. You could tell me video to react, but please leave the video. The link to the video in the comment section. It'll be easy for me to find. It can be like, hi, or how you doing? I will always try to pop back to you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's your boy Frame. Out.